Evening, everybody. I certainly appreciate everybody taking time out of their busy schedule to come out to be with us tonight for a very, very worthy cause. But before we get ready to go into our meeting, I would like to ask Pastor Burks if he would come up and give us a word of prayer.
Shall we bow our heads? Turn to God, our Father, we coming to you as humble as we know how. God, we thank you for life. God, we thank you for this gathering, this parent engagement meeting on tonight. Now, Father, we ask that you will give us wisdom, God, as we have conversations about how to better this community by appealing to parents to allow their kids to participate in activities. Father, we need you. We're not smart enough without your divine inspiration, without wisdom from you. God, now I ask that you will grant wisdom to each and every participant, each and every person in this room, that we may have healthful dialogue. And we ask it all in your Son, Jesus' name. Shall we all say amen?
Again, thank you for coming, and let me tell you how this came up. We were at a meeting, Ms. Williams and I was at a meeting with the Townsend senior citizens over on South Side, and the ladies were just talking. They were wrapping up their regular meeting, and they were just talking. They said that, you know what, we've really got to find a way to get our parents back involved with our community. And we talked about it for 15 or 20 minutes, and then we got the idea, okay, maybe we need to go ahead and have this meeting. But I'm pointing that out to you for the simple reason that I did say that a group of senior citizens, and when I say senior citizens, these are some of my ladies that are in their 70s, late 60s. And of course, you know, they're at retirement time, so we can no longer put the burden on grandmama. There's some way that we've got to reach our parents, because our parents are a very, very important part of our community. The community does not work without them. None of the community works successfully without them. I know that we need parents. We're always begging parents at the park. I know the school needs parents. I know that there's some PTOs that basically have one person that's running the whole PTO, and we need to appeal. Tonight, I don't want you to be concerned at all with who is not here. On that, as I was telling Brian earlier, on that, if I were Perry Mason, I would just say I rest my case. There is something that needs to happen. Now, let me say this to you. Because they are not here, I don't see it in a negative tone. Try to find a way to compel them to be a part of this community. Because, like I said, that the mayor and the council, they've put up some money to make better parks, better playgrounds, better facilities, and we need parents to be a part of that. We don't need to build something and they're not participating. We want their input. So it's not about what we're going to do. They put up the money, but we need to make sure that parents are being actively involved. We don't need parents. We don't want parents to just drop their children off. We want them to come and participate. Yes, every parent can't coach, but some can coach. Come and cheer the other children on. Come and cheer your neighbor on. But that's what makes the community a better place. So, Superintendent, if you will come up.
Good evening. He didn't tell me I had to speak, but I figured I did. And so I sat in my office this afternoon and I said, well, let me start jotting down some notes. I'm kind of old school. I like to jot notes down on a notepad and then I go back and I type the notes. And so as I looked at the title, I began to gather my thoughts. And so just for a few minutes, I want to say good evening to everybody, but I want to share a couple of words with you that I wrote down. And of course, on behalf of the Columbus Municipal School District, I take pride in being a part of this momentous occasion. As a former teacher, assistant principal, and principal, I truly understand the positive connections between parental engagement and student success. I also realize that in many communities, we must create ways to open up dialogue and parental engagement to demonstrate what it looks like. And so we're doing that today. Based upon my observations this evening, as he said, it doesn't matter about the numbers, but it is crystal clear with the people that are in this room. These are some of the movers and shakers in this community. I haven't been here long. Today is my 100th day on the job. And so I've learned who those people are. Many of the people in this room I have seen in many different places. We serve on different committees together. And so for me, this is going to allow us to close some of those gaps in regards to parents, students, and basically touching the larger community. But lastly, I want to think about this purpose and occasion. As I think about this, I want you to kind of, as I thought about what I was going to say, I thought about this Bible verse. And so I'm not a clergyman, but I am a Christian. And so I have to share this with you. I want to share Proverbs 22:6 with you. It says, train up a child in the way that he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. This is just a verse that I wanted to share, but this verse emphasizes what we are doing here today. It emphasizes the importance of teaching children to follow the right path and the impact that it has when we train a child in the way that they should go. And I think that tonight we're going to have some dialogue about how we're going to do that. Now, I'm just one person, but I think that we have to start early. And I think the earlier that we start this dialogue, that like we're doing now, then we're going to be able to effect some change in the Columbus Municipal School District, but in the larger community as well. And so I'm really looking forward to the journey that we're starting tonight, and I support this journey wholeheartedly. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Superintendent. Short version. Superintendent said he wants to talk. He wants to listen. He's reaching out. He's only been here 100 days, so you can't not like him. He ain't been here long enough for you to not like him. So he wants to talk. He wants to create dialogue. He's making an appeal to you, and I'm hoping that we will help him create that dialogue. At this time, I want to ask Pastor Burks, who is a pastor over on the south side, as well as he works in the district, and as well as he's done a lot of things with our children, and he knows our children, and he sees exactly what our children are doing at school. So, Pastor Burks, would you come forward, please?
Good evening again. Well, it's a blessing to be here with each and every one of you all, and we are appealing to parents to bring your kids out, allow them to participate in Columbus Recreation Department. It will be helpful to them. There are more programs besides just athletics. We also have mentoring. So we're dealing with the whole child, not just the athletic ability, but they're learning life skills. They're learning so much more than just the athletic side. I know some of the guys that coach with the Columbus Recreation Development Department, and I tell you, they have made a difference in a lot of kids' lives who were going in the wrong direction. These guys, like Brother Billy Wayne, I know he doesn't mind if I call him out, but he works hard, long and hard with our children. He goes in the community and the neighborhoods, and he's out in the trenches. He talks to parents, and one thing we can do, we can go out and talk to them ourselves. Make time to go out to the parents, not just in this setting right here, but go out to the parents and say, look, allow your child to participate in the athletic programs. Also allow them to participate in the mentoring part of it. So I'm just appealing to parents to allow your children to come out and be a part of this wonderful program. Thank you.
Again, it's not always just the park and recreation in school. The police department needs parents' help too. Chief, would you like to come up?
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Well, I thought I was going to sneak in and sit in the back, and then I started the mayor and the superintendent and everybody up here. So, no, you come on up here. Greetings from the Columbus Police Department. I'm Chief Joseph Daughtry. I've been on the job 10 months, 1 week, 6 days, 4 hours, 18 minutes, and 58 seconds. And what I've learned about this community is this community has a heart bigger than the state of Mississippi. All right, we have some great people that live in this community. We have some children that need some help. Some of our children are longing for, being a former school resource officer, a lot of these kids are longing for that hug. They're longing for someone to just pay attention with them. And I thank the superintendent for putting me on his youth advisory board. And when he asked me to do it, I told him I was honored to. And we're going to sit down and have conversations with the kids. But what he and I both agree with is we're not going to talk. We're going to let them talk. Because so often we talk to them instead of listening to them. And that's something that we're going to have to do. The police department's behind Parks and Rec. We're behind the school district. We're behind the community. I know a lot of times you see us in a negative light. We're enforcing the laws, but that's what we have to do. But it takes a village. And I need for everybody to get back to the village. I'm a little different from what Greg said, because realistically, if this was a Jordan shoe drop, we'd have people all out the windows. We have to change the mindset about our children. We got to make our children our priority. We got to give our children hope. If we don't give them hope, who will? The streets will. The gangs will. The negative activity will. And I'm going to leave you with this. There's an African proverb that says, a child that is not embraced by the village will burn it down to feel its warmth. I want y'all to think about that. And that's what's going on across this country. Our children are burning down villages because they just want to feel the warmth. But I commend you, Greg, and your staff. These guys, if you ever drive by the parks, these kids are there all the time. And they do so much with these children. Next year, I'm going to support them a little bit more. But I commend you for what you do. I commend your staff for what y'all do. And these volunteer coaches. It takes a lot to deal with the parents. Not the kids, the parents. And I commend you on it. Thank you so much.
Everybody, once again, is leaning toward the park. I'm finna lean toward the school. At this time, I'm going to ask Ms. Shonda Williams if she will come forward, and she is the PTO president at Fairview.
He was gonna try to get me up here some kind of way. Okay, my story is short. I've been living in Columbus for 24 years now. I came to Columbus, Mississippi. My husband I'm a bricklayer over at Mississippi State when they first started building up Mississippi State. And so we decided to stay, and I stayed. So my child entered Joe Cook in 2000. I've been a PTO parent from 2000 till my child graduated, the baby girl graduated from 2019. Also, I got a grandbaby back in school. So I had to go back into the school and be a PTO. This the second year for PTO at Fairview. Fairview, y'all, is a great school. I'm just pleading to the parents, grandmama tired. And so we need these young people to come out and start volunteering, because it's a lot of work when you trying to go in every 9 weeks, trying to do something for the kids' celebration. Teachers asking, can you have breakfast for my senior citizen? Can they bring us breakfast at the school? Parent-teacher conferences, all those things. I mean, they wear my phone out. And it's just 5 of us at Fairview is doing this PTO. When I came a member in 2000 at Joe Cook, we had 400 PTO people, 400. Left 400 to 5 now. So I'm pleading on the side of PTO at Fairview, all the schools. We need y'all. We need you all. All of us connected together, we need y'all. That's my plea.
People that do the work usually rarely like to say anything. They always want to stay behind the scenes. So I got some people on this side of the table over here that do a phenomenal job in the community, but they'll say something if you poke them, but right now they hadn't been poked yet, but I'm sure they're going to give their opinion. I also just want to try to give you a visual of what I'm saying. We are using the same people to do multiple things, and it's kind of like we've got to give them a break. I've got a coach over here on this end of the table, Mr. Eric Thomas. He's been through surgery, major surgery, and he's still finding his way out there. He's still trying to find a way to do things with these children, and I'm just asking you all that we've got to come up with a plan to give some of these people some relief. I know that I feel compelled to help the schools, because I just told Dr. Joe earlier this morning that anytime I offer her an opportunity to come to a park program, I don't care what community it is, there go Dr. Joe. And I appreciate you for that. So what I'm saying is, if the school don't work, the park don't work. If the school don't work, nothing in the city is going to work. If the school don't work, we don't draw. And when I say by draw, we don't get folks that want to come here or want to put their kids in our schools. So what I'm saying is, it's not about embracing parks and recreation, because one can't work without the other. If the school don't work, when I send the flyers out there, children ain't gonna participate, and we do that. But I'm saying, if you got strong schools, strong PTOs, it sure does give us a level field to come out and pass out flyers, because we got a pool of parents that we can also depend on. But Eric, I'd just like for you to come up and share a few words with it, and after that, if I don't have any others, I want to close it. Before we close out, I will have the mayor and Councilman Jones say a few words, but I want Eric to come up, and then I'm gonna say a few words, and then from that point, I'm gonna turn it over to Councilman Jones and the mayor.
And before Eric get up, to saying something, I want to just give y'all, Eric has been coaching with all our sports, football, softball, basketball, and Eric got sick last year, right before our season got started. So Eric in the hospital, didn't know it, calling my phone. And I'm like, Eric, I heard you was in the hospital. He never would tell me he was in the hospital. Then I heard some say, get off that phone. And I'm like, he calling me in the hospital. Eric, take care of yourself. We gonna take care of them girls softball. And I'm like, this man called me 2 or 3 times while he in the hospital, worried about those children out there on the softball. I said, listen, whatever it take for me, Eric, I'm gonna go out there and practice. If you want me to go out there and practice too, and then I gotta go down the hill T-ball, I'm gonna do it for you, Eric, because of that. And we did a celebration to him. We finally got to do a celebration to him. We did movie night in honor of our coach, Eric. So I just want y'all to know how dedicated this man is to doing something in our community.
Good evening, everybody. Coach Tide. My appeal is girls softball. Over the last couple of years, that's all I've been doing is girls softball. And here in the city, we are actually behind in girls softball, because slow pitch has gone away. So it's strictly fast pitch. And so my appeal is, you know, the old, I won't say the old way, but we got another generation that is coming up. So, my machine beeping. Got it. We got another generation coming up. So we got to appeal to them because what worked or what made me coach may not be the same thing that'll make them come out and coach. So we got to find other ways where we can engage those parents and make them feel a part. One thing that I always try to do is I try to make my parents a part of the team. I always say, I need you. And once you can make them a part of it, it makes it so easy for you to coach. And the main thing is, we can say a lot of stuff, but a lot of this stuff, everything starts at home. If they don't get it at home, I can see it till I turn blue in the face, and I'm the darkest person in this room probably. But it starts at home. So I think if we can engage that 18 to 37 crowd and find ways to make them a part of the park, because we need the park. And I love coaching, and I love engaging. I see kids every day that come. Some of them I can't even remember their name, but I coach them. So I just want to appeal to that age group where they can come in and they can start coaching and they can turn this generation around. Because the kids, we have the kids here, but we got to find ways to get them to the park and engage them. And back years ago, we had different organizations, different churches, because some parents that got 2 or 3 kids, they can't pay for 2 or 3 kids. So maybe we can find resources where they said no child left behind. No child left behind, because sports do open up a lot of avenues. Because I always say an uncoachable child will be an unemployed adult. Thank you.
Just like to say that there's no one way to do this. We were fortunate tonight to get the lower level of the trotter, and that's great. But if we're going to make this work, we have to go where they are. So what I'm saying is that if we need to come to the school, we'll come to the school. If we need to go to the community centers, we'll go to the community centers. But I'm just simply saying, my humble appeal is, we need everybody in this room to help us get our parents back engaged, and we want to make them feel appreciated in the process. So what I'm saying is that I hope everybody has signed the sign-in sheet, because we're going to go from that sign-in sheet. I'm going to get with the superintendent and some of the panelists that we have up here. Like I said, this quiet side over here, those are some soldiers. They're just not saying anything, but those are some soldiers over there. But we want to make this happen. It's going to take more than one. We know the holiday is coming up. I don't want anybody to think that, okay, well, they had that one meeting. No. And I can tell Billy White that no. This is not going to be one of them situations where we have one meeting, it sounds good, and then nobody comes that way again. No. We're going to exhaust every opportunity that we can, because I'm just dumb enough to believe that it's not time to give up on our children. It's not time to give up on our parents. And the reason about the parent engagement is that the majority of the children that we service, they can't drive. They're dependent on somebody else to get them there. So I want to appeal to that somebody else that's going to get them there. But like I said, that if you have ideas, you know these people up here, you may not want to tell me, tell somebody, but we're going to find a way. I don't want to put extra stuff on anybody's plate, because everybody's super busy, but we've got to find a way to bind our community together, to get our parents involved. And with that said, I'm going to turn it over to Councilman Jones, followed up by the mayor for closing remarks.
Greg, if
Yes.
I may, I just want to acknowledge Chief Brown from the school district. Chief Brown and I work together a lot, and her department and our department are working together with the kids. I want everybody to know that she's here as well.
And Chief, I didn't see you come in, but you know I already appreciate you, and we're sending help on the way. Like I said, I know that on the flyer says Columbus Recreation Department, but we're trying to partner with the school and other entities in the community to make this a better place for all of us, because like I said, if it don't work for one major agency, it's not going to work for the other. And we've got to do something. At this time, Councilman Jones, followed by the mayor.
Good evening, everyone. I don't have much to say. Everybody else has seemed to say it all, but my appeal is, parents, I support the recreation. I support public school. We giving them everything, well, not everything that they need, but whatever we can give them, we're giving them as a council. So I want to make sure that the parents, please come out. Please make sure that your kids participate so that it's not all in vain, because it's definitely been a hard fight up there trying to get the money that we need to improve the parks. My granddaughter played out there, and I saw how bad the parks was, and that's why it's such a hard fight for me. But I just want to make sure that the parents understand that, it's not easy. So we need y'all to come out and participate and make sure that it's not all in vain. So that's all I say. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Jones. I just want to thank everybody for being here tonight. I appreciate Greg and his staff's efforts to pull this together. I thank all the senior citizens. When he said 60-something, that sort of made me feel kind of old, because I'm on the tail end of 50. But, Councilman Jones and I both will tell you that thriving cities and municipalities are not because of the wonderful elected officials. It's because of the citizen engagement in a community. And this tells me that we have, and I've already known this because I've met and talked to some of these gentlemen and ladies before, that we've got some really good citizens who are very concerned. They've also been frustrated over the years because it's not always easy to get in and do the kind of mentoring and the coaching and the things that they want to do. And so as elected officials, we've got to do more, and as members of the public schools, do more to allow our citizens in and work with our students and be a part of their lives. It is very difficult to get people to come out to town halls like this. We've tried on a lot of different occasions for different topics, but there's not one that's any more important than this, because we're saying it's to have our parents here, but this is about our children. And our children are our future. And we need to be doing everything we can to work together and show good examples to our children. One of the things that I say to the council and to the board of supervisors, we can disagree, but we don't have to be disagreeable in our efforts, because the children are watching. And we all know that politics has gotten very sad in this country. It's always been controversial, and there's always been competition, there's always been the name calling, it's always been those things. Even from the first election, with John Adams and Thomas Jefferson, that was the first really presidential election, and there was mudslinging then, but it's gotten to a point now to where it's embarrassing. And it's discouraging to our children and to our parents for anybody to want to get into public life or try to be a public servant because of the nastiness that we see. So I would encourage everybody here too to stay engaged, but also listen to folks that may not agree with you on something. We need to teach our children that example of working together. And I know it's frustrating, and people, you've seen me, I've lost my cool about things in the past, and I shouldn't do that. But it's important that we all try to work together. This is a wonderful community. I tell people all the time, I see people from all walks of life on a regular basis, and almost everybody I run into, they say, Mayor, I'm praying for you and the city. And that is what we need. Whether you believe in prayer or not, I believe it works. And I believe we have a wonderful community. And I agree with Greg that we need to continue to have these types of gatherings so that we can encourage more people to come out. Joe is putting this out on Facebook Live so that people that can't see it, and a lot of our parents, right? I've talked to them. They're working late hours. They're tired. It's hard for many times for them to come out, but there are just so many levels of where our citizens need help. But there is nothing more important than our public school system. Every issue that we face in the community, whether it's poverty, crime, you can all link it back. Economic development, everything links back to public education. And I tell people all the time, I don't care if you have a child in the schools, I don't care if you have a grandchild, or you'll never have anybody in the schools. If you love your community, you should be concerned about your public schools, and you should come out and do everything you can to help. So we don't need just the parents of the students that we have in our schools, we need all of our citizens here. The work that we're trying to do for the schools requires everybody on board. So again, you know, as we said, it's not the elected officials that make great communities, it's the citizens. And everybody up here, we are here because they said we need to have another meeting about this and see what we can do about bringing our parents together. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Greg. Thank you, everybody that worked on and had the idea of getting this together. And I promise you, the council and I want to do everything we can to make this the best city that it can be. And it starts with the citizens. Thank you. Oh, and Greg wanted me to see if anybody in the audience has any questions for anybody on the panel.
While you're getting your questions together, thank you, Councilman. While you're getting your questions together, I do want to, you know, I have to hear some jokes from some of these people. You know, I got on a coat and a tie. We had a Veterans Day program, and we empowered women today. And the entire panel, everybody that did anything on the program was a woman, either a veteran, enlisted, or just a woman, period. And I'm thinking about when everybody's talking about the mentoring programs that our men have, I do want to acknowledge that Ms. Williams is getting ready to work. You want to stand up? Ms. Blair is going to be working with our girls. Now, we have been trying for years, and Coach White can tell you, Billy Wayne can tell you, that we've been trying for years to get somebody to do something with the girls, because I hate to say it this way, but they need a lot of attention too. And I'm just glad somebody's coming forward to work with our girls, because we're taking care of the boys as best we can. You can take this whole row right here, that's mentoring for the boys, but we want you to know at the Columbus Recreation Department is going to do everything that we can to try to make our girls successful, whether it is providing you with the space to meet or whatever we need to do. We have to do something about our community, and again, it takes everybody to make it better. And I thank you for calling us, letting us know that you're going to be doing that program. Again, as I close, we have your, finna be like those robocallers that you get, that I get, that you get tired of them. Some of y'all gonna block me, because if you sign that list over there, I'm just gonna listen to you. That I ain't got time, I'll be there the next time, but I'm gonna do it until I can get you there. And I need you all to tell others that, we're trying to do something about our community. We want to make a difference in our community, and we need everybody. We call it all hands on deck. We need everybody to make our community better. And again, do not walk away. I'm so glad you're streaming this, Joe. Do not walk away thinking that it's just about the park. It is not. I'm letting the district, the superintendent, know that we are with you. We're going to support you. We want to be successful, and we know that if you're successful, we're going to be successful. One of the most important things in this community is a quality education. And it should never be that Shonda and I can get more parents to show up at the park as opposed to show up for a school meet. It shouldn't be that way. It happens that way, but it shouldn't be that way. But what we're willing to do is that as you have important things that you need parents, we can't make them come, but we certainly can put it out there. You all need to come to this tonight. And you got some guys on the other end of this table that can always get their parents, because they work with a lot of children. So this is a collective effort for the community, and not just the school, but any agency that needs that help, and we want to try to bring our community together. Yes, ma'am.
This is suggestion, maybe when it get warmer, or whenever the suggestion is needed, or when you get ready to kick off, you may need to have a meeting in the park, because they'll come to the park.
And that's what.
So I mean, I'm just saying, that may be sometimes you have to meet people where they are.
Right.
In the park, they come. So you may want to think about scheduling a meeting there.
That's a good idea. And what I'm saying is, Shonda, please make a note of that. And I was telling Brian when he interviewed me earlier today, that is why we want whosoever will, let them come, because you don't know where a good idea is going to come from. So, like I said, it may be somebody that, never says anything, but they may have a great idea. So we would definitely take that in consideration.
Repeat what you said for people to hear.
she said that a lot of people come to the park, and maybe we need to have one of these meetings at the park. So like I said, that this is going to be, from my point of view, this is going to be a traveling meeting. And what I mean by that is, it may be in the park this time, it may be at the school the next time, it may be over here the next time, it may be at a church the next time. I'm just simply saying that we've got to find a way to come up with a plan to re-engage our parents, and there's only one way to do it, and that's for everybody to do it together. Any other questions? Again, thank you. I know some people that would have been here that are not here. There are different schedules. We chose Thursday. We didn't know that other things were going on, but maybe we can do a better plan the next time. But any suggestion that you have, I'm going to give you a solid number. That's going to be Ms. Fields back there. Will you raise your hand? That's the administrative assistant. If you have a suggestion or you want to let us know something, her number is 662-327-4935. And she can get any message to myself or Shonda, or if you want to tell somebody else, or tell Greg to tell the mayor, or tell Greg to tell Billy Wayne, we will get you, we need your input. And I can't say it enough, we need you. It's time for us to do something different, and we need you, and it's going to start with us. Any other questions? Thank y'all so much for coming out tonight, and we will be having another meeting soon. Thank you.